Exercise A, page 64.
Apply.
Description.
Display.
Hunger.
Interest.
Judge.
Label.
Powerful.
Purchase.
React.
Exercise B, meaning from context, page 64.
The milkshake experiment. Foods in stores often have labels on them that show things like how much fat, sugar, and salt the foods have. Some restaurants now display that information on their menus too. People can use labels like these to judge how healthy a food is and to decide whether to purchase it. Can labels do more than this, though? An experiment by psychologist Aaliyah Crum and others suggests they can. In the experiment, participants drank 2 milkshakes. The description of one included the words creamy and smooth and delicious. The label said the shake had 620 calories and 30 grams of fat. The other shake was described as light and healthy. According to the label, it had just 140 calories and no fat at all. After participants drank the creamy shake, a blood test showed they felt satisfied and full. In contrast, after the healthy shake, blood tests indicated that people felt less full. This should not seem surprising. After all, foods with more calories should reduce people's hunger more. However, the 2 milkshakes were the same except for their labels. In other words, the only reason people felt fuller or less full was because the labels were different. This result shows that Crum's experiment is important. Businesses can use food labels and descriptions in several powerful ways. They can use them to change how people think about foods. They can use them to interest people in foods. Companies might even be able to apply what they have learned from Crum's experiment and use labels to affect how people's bodies react to foods.
Listening. Food psychology. Exercise B, main ideas, page 66. And Exercise C, details, page 67.
I'm glad we decided to have lunch together.
Yeah, me too. And what a great lecture that was earlier. I'm really glad you guys persuaded me we should all take food psychology.
I know, right? I had no idea restaurants had so many ways to interest customers in certain dishes and get us to spend more money.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should apply what we learned in class to this restaurant.
Great idea. Let's start with the menu. Look, no dollar signs.
Dollar signs on the menu remind people about money, right? So when there are no dollar signs, people spend more.
And in terms of prices, it looks like every item ends with 95 cents. $12.95, $14.95, and so on. Prices ending with 95 are supposed to feel friendly, right?
Right. Professor Cameron also said that people judge dishes with prices ending with 99 or 95 as being good value. So this menu is really trying to get us to feel good about spending money.
The menu also has a lot of photos, and there are photos displayed on the walls too. What did Professor Cameron say about photos of food? They can increase sales by up to 1/3 or something?
Yeah, I think it was 1/3.
And did you notice how the photos on the menu are labeled with the name of the dish? Those labels mean that some items appear twice on the menu. I bet those are high-margin dishes.
High margin? I must have missed what Professor Cameron said about that.
Dishes that don't cost a lot to make, but which the restaurant can sell at a good price.
In other words, high-profit dishes that the restaurant highlights in the menu because it wants people to purchase them.
Oh, I see. That's a pretty clever way to use photos and labels in my view.
Yeah, you're right. And how about colors? There's a lot of red both on the menu and in the restaurant. If I remember what Professor Cameron said, red can make people feel hungry.
Right. There's a lot of yellow too. Professor Cameron said yellow is annoying and can make people want to leave. So it seems this restaurant doesn't want us to stay too long.
That makes sense for a pizza restaurant. I mean, they don't want people hanging around the place for hours because then new customers can't come in. Anyway, speaking of hunger, is anybody else ready to order?
Definitely. So what looks good?
Pretty much everything. I was planning to order a basic cheese, but now I'm thinking about the seasonal veggie pizza, a variety of farm-fresh vegetables, slow-roasted with herbs and a dash of homemade chili oil. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, the menu has really good descriptions for sure. Don't forget that those are designed to catch your interest, though.
Oh, wow, you're right. I'm totally reacting to what the restaurant is doing.
That raises an interesting question, actually. How do you feel about the way restaurants use psychology to try to affect people? To try to push us to order certain items, spend more money, leave more quickly, and so on?
I don't like it, to be honest. It feels wrong, and it makes me kind of uncomfortable.
I'm with you, Luis. Still, I'm not sure there's anything we can do about it. I mean, it's just the world we live in, right?
Well,
Do you have a different opinion, Lydia?
yes and no. On the one hand, I agree that it kind of feels wrong. On the other hand, I'd say that this kind of knowledge is pretty powerful.
Powerful? In what way?
Well, now that I know the things that restaurants are trying to do, I can try to recognize and think before I react or make a decision.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about it like that.
I think I see what you're saying. If we know how restaurants are trying to affect how we think or what we do, we can stop them from having an effect on us?
Right. Well, I can at least try to stop them from having an effect. It's not going to be easy, though. I mean, after reading that description, I really want the seasonal veggie pizza too.
Exercise D. Focused listening. Page 67. 1,
That's a pretty clever way to use photos and labels in my view.
2,
How do you feel about the way restaurants use psychology to try to affect people?
3,
I don't like it, to be honest. It feels wrong.
4,
Do you have a different opinion, Lydia?
5,
On the other hand, I'd say that this kind of knowledge is pretty powerful.